hit or miss for so many folks. I love it, and we don't really have too much time to delve deep too much into that, right? But a lot of it does come down to the layout and whether you like the layout or you don't like the layout, especially here on zones as well. With it being a split zone on top of it, you know, you got to be very mindful as to what's going on across the entire map because it's so easy to miss one player or another, and then all of a sudden you got to go play Ring Around Rosie around mid to keep flipping the other zone over and over again.
And we may just see some of that here following this match, but already What Doing is going to be the first team to lose a player. No Gal, no Pro in sight anymore. NRG is going to be taking that zone very swiftly. Damn is looking to clean up this blaster dot. we played a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie there, but already a strong opening here from NRG, able to get those first opening points, only 30 seconds of the game, but very strong lead here.
Yeah, a good position to put yourself in here in the first on this first game on Umami zones here. What Doing struggling a little bit against this hold that NRG has set up here, but they're pushing them back bit by bit. Booyah Bomb as well to disrupt the back line here as they can potentially try and find a way to push through and break through this front line wall here, but it's not enough. NRG is holding it strong and just dismantling What Doing bit by bit, piece by piece, and now there's only 30 ticks remaining on the zone.
Yeah, and this looks very dangerous for What Doing, who fought their way into this spot in the first place, but just may get knocked out in this first round back. Again, it's only been a little over a minute, and with 10 ticks left and not much contesting happening, I think that is going to wrap up the first game with the knockout.
Yeah, it was NRG just knew exactly how to play that out, exactly what fights to take, and exactly when to use their specials to flip every single fight, every single interaction into their favor. And for 100-0 on this map as well, I mean, yeah, Umami Ruins can be a bit of a lockout mess, you know, it's very hard to try and break through at times, right? But you still have a lot of interactions in mid here to try and constantly flip the zones over and over again and prevent your enemy team from running away with a lot of points. So the fact that NRG was able to position themselves to just deny What Doing that possibility, it just kind of goes to show exactly what Doing's going up against here.
Yeah, very much so. It's quite a team to be fighting, and you know, with players like those, it's almost like they rehearse all of the commonly played maps. So it has that very rehearsed feel once you get into the match, and you'll notice it once we get back in there. Or if you already noticed it last game, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that's going to be even more the case as we approach Hagglefish Market Tower Control. As we all know, tower control can get incredibly snowbally. You can't deny it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, tower control at Hagglefish Market, people should know exactly what to expect here. That those two checkpoints on the ramp leading to your enemy side of this map, you know, can just absolutely spiral so far out of control. You're just forced to just sit and watch here. But there is still some counterplay to try and prevent your team from prevent the enemy team from getting to that point. You know, you still have that first checkpoint to try and break through to stall them out on. And I think that's where a lot of the focus and attention is going to be at for both of these two teams, to make sure that first checkpoint stays there for as long as they can. Because once that checkpoint goes down, that's when you get that small snowball to begin to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Of course, it gets even worse the second you get into that second checkpoint. Oh God, it's always a dreaded second checkpoint. Honestly, I feel like this is going to end snowball one way or another. Especially in grand finals, you don't really see those stalls in middle as much as others. So I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. It could be anything. NRG does look to have a big advantage just from what we saw last game. So it's probably where I'm going to place my bets.
Yeah. I mean, there really wasn't much that I could have noted from that last game, from what Doing was specifically doing wrong, that NRG was abusing, that I couldn't tell you because the match was so quick. But that's no one's fault, you know. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just walk it off and be like, all right, first one's gone, whatever, move on to the second one and make it better, you know? And Tower Hagglefish is still a bit of a weird one to try and make that work, you know? It's not necessarily easy to get a lot of these pushes or stop a lot of these pushes, you know? But it could be the thing that What Doing can try and abuse in their favor.
Yeah, very much so. And it's really hard to tell. It's just really hard to tell what's going to... I have a guess of what's going to happen. But
yeah,
I want to see how this plays out first. So I'm just waiting for these guys to get ready. They've kept us waiting here. Give us the action. Oh, you want to give us the action so bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's voices in our head.
Voices in our head.
They are currently subbing, so we'll get there here in just a few more moments. But yeah, no, I mean, what more can we say at this point?
Yeah, the weather, I guess. We could talk about the weather.
Yeah, that's where we want to go?
Oh, no, there's currently a storm. I probably shouldn't. Never mind.
No, go on.
Listen, we don't get snow here, so, like, I don't know.
What, is it snowing over there?
No.
Oh.
We got nothing.
Yeah, so, like, what's the big idea then?
I don't know, you want to talk about your weather?
My weather? I mean, it was raining today. That's about it.
Oh, lucky. I want rain.
Yeah.
Man. We don't get fed enough. But anyways, it looks like our guys have finally gotten ready. We're gonna eat a little bit here, dog. We're finally gonna get to eat again.
Mm-hmm, yeah. No, I don't expect what doing to change too much on their side. Well, as I say that, they do bring out the NZEP 89, which I don't think was played at all from their previous sets here. So I'm wondering what the game plan here specifically is with that weapon here. But, NRG pulling out something that's a little bit more traditional, something a bit more in line for what you see in the current top level.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is that they also have a junior on NRG. I don't know if that was their last game or not. The last game happened so fast, I didn't even get the chance to check. But already insane fights happening as you start. But NRG is actually going to be losing 3 of their players. And what doing? Quickly flipping the script compared to what happened last game, finding themselves on the tower, quickly approaching this first checkpoint that, if I'm being honest, just kind of doesn't exist. This checkpoint is non-existent to me.
Yeah, this first checkpoint really is. It's still vital for them to try to hold it because that means that they can get to the second checkpoint much faster in subsequent pushes, But it's still early enough in the path that it's kind of easy and to let it go if you aren't playing your cards right. And I mean, what doing is a very extraordinary job right now, keeping NRG just away from the tower, away from being able to contest that at any point in time right now. And even though they do lose one, they are at the second checkpoint right now. And Cappuccino looking to try and play whatever cards they can to try and stop it, and from nowhere, out of nowhere, they come up behind the players from the tower and stop it before that second checkpoint was lost.
Yeah, it's crazy what one good flank does to a push. It can literally end everything, and I think Cappuccino is literally the prime example of that. But seeing those specials online for NRG, both that bubble and Booyah Bomb ready for action in just a second. If you're wondering what those jumps are for, by the way, you're seeing them. They're literally there to be a nuisance and just cause mayhem in those flat open spaces.
Yeah?
Yeah? It was yummy. I was feasting. Do not ask questions.
I mean, I'm not asking questions. I'm not asking anything. I'm just more looking at the gameplay in front of us. Yeah, you can eat. I never said you can't.
Thank you.
Hey, Jingles Keys, come on. We got something good in front of us.
Anyways, Gala on the left side, Kawaii. I could read not katakana, hiragana just a little bit. Their name is Kawaii, but here on the left, look at that pincer, essentially creating a pincer. Kawaii's in the back, taking names, no pens on the field, but Yams is going to be taken out by the Booyah Bomb, just those last straggling health points left, and NRG is very much looking forward to knocking this game out in just a second.
Yeah, I mean, what doing was doing the majority of this game was really good, but unfortunately for them, NRG just needed one single push, one single breakthrough from the wall that what doing held up, and now they get a wipeout and just with just a single push knock it out. NRG was just waiting for the right time, waiting for the right opportunity to just dismantle what doing once again and just take away the second game.
Yeah, it was so interesting because what doing got pretty dang close, if you ask me. They did a really good job at just getting that push when they have the opportunity. But again, one flank is all it takes to just shatter dreams. And Cappuccino has been doing a phenomenal job in that junior. They got that double splat as well, just right off the tower. So they've been doing a great job with those bomb placements. And anyone that plays junior knows the main is your sub. The sub is the main.
Yeah, no. Playing V Junior, you most likely are just only taking it for the bubble and for the bomb spam. You hardly ever want to use the actual weapon. But Cappuccino does pilot the Junior well enough that they are able to do what some of the things that you saw earlier. Just go on the flank, get the picks that they need in order to flip the script on a lot of these fights, a lot of these pushes here. And now moving to game number 3 very quickly now. Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dine.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna go shopping is what we're gonna be doing on this map. Those chumps seem to be making their way out onto the field again, which is curious, but I think they may have found just a little bit of success or just see it having enough use to bring it out once more. And something to note, it's not Splat Zones, we're in Clam Blitz.
Yeah, that's what I said, in Clam Blitz. Did I say zones?
Did you? No, you didn't. I'm just like, just in case.
Oh.
Missed it.
I got scared for a second. I was like, did I say
You're fine, Dark. You're fine.
No. Anyways, moving on here, we do see a typical with Eddie's Clams map, where it's just a big skirmish in mid, just players getting pick after pick after pick, but nothing really converting off of it here. But one thing to note here is that what doing is in the backseat right now, backs against the wall. Match point for NRG means that they can absolutely just take a 3-0 sweep here if they play their cards right. So what doing has to play with their lives on the line and try and stay alive game after game and potentially see if they get an opportunity to reverse sweep this set.
I'm sorry, they got bonked in the head by the dang S-Blast, so that had to be called out for a second. But what doing? Actually getting the first potential push of the game. Not really seeing any clams. Give some clams to your buddy. Get the clam, guys. Get the clams, guys.
Oh no, what doing? Mismatched with their tempo, not having the clams ready right now. What doing? Could have absolutely ran away with a lot of points there if they had the power climb ready before that push, but unfortunately, I think the only thing they can get here is the power climb and 2 extra clams, make that 3-4. Okay, so they're now starting to send it a little bit here. 56 off their first push isn't that bad for Barnacle Dime here. So, and what doing may have misplayed a little bit at the beginning of their push there, but they did manage to at least secure some camp on their side.
Yeah, a little bit of points is better than none. Aura is happening once more. Again, Quiet's been throwing hands for like no reason. I know that Gal technically got a nasty buff, but like this is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. This gun should not be able to do that, and yet it is. And as I say, that NRG in just one swift push is able to take the lead back in their favor. And that was almost 20 extra points. That is 20 extra points on the board with the sneaky power clam to call for that as well.
Oh, and I mean, Gauss here is just absolutely running away, finally getting shut down by the S-Blast here, as what doing's just constantly forced back. NRG getting these constant back-to-back drag picks here to get things under their control here. But now Yams has Aura Flow online for them, seeing if they can leverage that to any sort of momentum in their favor. They get one pick, now looking trying to hold forward here to continue this flow on their side to clear up the map and make some more space for what doing as the remainder of their team is slowly walking up behind them.
Yeah, very much so. And one can't help but root a little bit here for what doing as they are struggling a little bit in mid, slowly making their way forward, able to make just that enough space that may just get them another push on the board. Beautiful 3 down on NRG. Just get the clams. The clam. They can get the push, but they just don't have the clams. Fellas.
I saw them bundle the clams so many times. What doing for the second time this game? Fumbled what could have been a very extraordinary push. I mean, they cleaned it up at the end, don't get me wrong, so they're still completely fine right now, but this could have been a lot more cleaner. The gap could have been widened by a lot bigger of a margin here, but what doing has to settle for, okay, maybe a potential knockout scenario as we get, okay, never mind, they know what they're doing, because what doing is the name of the game.
Just think this, we clown them for fumbling the clams, but they won the game. I'm gonna give you that. You won the damn game. Like, next time we get our clams in the place we need to when we need them. But other than that, good job in the face of going 2 down in games prior to this. So good job, what doing. I don't know what you were doing with the clams, but yeah, at least you won.
Yeah, I mean, sticking true with their namesake, they confuse even the commentators at what they're doing. But hey, this is par for the course for what we've seen from this last set, at the very least, for what doing. Going 2 down and managed to clutch it up in an insane first game after the first two down, we could potentially see a reverse sweep here. Tower control ship cargo company is a bit of a weird map. I'm gonna be honest. It's a very swing heavy. Where if you can get past the second checkpoint, you almost certainly can just be able to ride that to the very end here. So it's gonna be up to what doing here to prevent NRG from ever getting to that point. But if they can get to that point first, we could very well see a 2-2 scenario and now head on to Zone's Make a Mark.
Sark, I know you said it already, but there's only one word for this map.
Yeah.
Noble.
Yeah.
Noble. It's like that's literally I feel like that's just all it is. And whoever gets it first, it is first come, first serve. Whoever wants a knockout, come get it. Come get it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not exactly out of the ordinary for what doing here to get the first push, as we did see from the previous game that what doing was able to get a few early picks on NRG to set themselves up for an early push on Clan Blitz at Barnacle Time. So it's not exactly impossible for them for what doing here. As I say, that 2 picks before Rip Yams, and they ends up 89 here, potentially a third pick up there. That's going to be a good opener for them to get this tower going.
Yeah, again, 2 down NRG, and just a perfect opportunity for what they're doing is what they're doing here. But again, I love the way they're setting themselves up. They're setting themselves to keep each other in check, but they're still going to find themselves in these one situations. Goss really just wanted to say, you should not be able to get 2 on the same.
I was about to say 2.
Look at me mad, dude. It's not even
both of us would have been so livid if Goss actually got away with that. But no, fortunately for what doing, they had the team back up there to clean up that pick against Goss, and now they're looking to try and extend the lead even further here, taking down to 51 points remaining, getting to that second checkpoint, which could be do or die scenario for NRG. But just like that, 3 down for what doing means that NRG can clean this up with a delayed wipeout and finally be the ones to get the first points on their side.
Yep, and something I want to note of importance is that what doing does not have. Oh wait, that's not that. I forgot. There's only 2 checkpoints on this map. Yeah. There's only 2 checkpoints on this map.
Yeah.
Listen, they skipped the plot. They skipped what was like. And so we just don't need the first checkpoint. And you know what? Y'all are so real for that. But anyways, NRG finally getting some points of their own on the board. It doesn't feel like they're phased. They're like, oh great, okay, we may have had a little bit of screw up starting up, but they're cruising. They're on their way. No biggie.
And one thing to note, folks, is that NRG is still at match point. They can absolutely run away with this game and take this game home and close out this set at any moment here with the right push here. So, and what doing is fighting constantly with their backs against the wall, constantly in a do or die scenario to stay alive, to play one more set, just one more game, to stay alive for one more time to try and potentially reverse sweep this here. But what doing is actually keeping up with NRG here, not letting them close the gap just yet here, still keeping them at 54 points remaining on the tower path here, but that could change soon here a bit as NRG is starting to get ready for their own push.
Yeah, very much so, and I think it's not going to take long before that second checkpoint. Oh, no, I thought it wasn't going to be long. There's actually, with no Junior, no Blaster, no Gao, no nothing on NRG. What do you see? Another day, their lead. So, yeah? What'd you see?
I thought the chumps got eaten there because it was right in front of the tower path.
Luckily, no chumps were eaten. No chumps were harmed in the making of this set. That's a lie. But what doing? Finally, see, I love how they're able to just stick the ground. They lost 2 games earlier, but they seem so stable compared to how other teams may be reacting to this. And I have so much respect for that. I mean, look at them go.
I mean, maybe this is exactly the position they want to be. Maybe they do better under pressure, under these stressful scenarios here, because what doing is definitely a lot more different than the what doing we saw in the first 2 games here. Because now they're contesting the second checkpoint. NRG is a bit off tempo here as they're struggling to keep up with the constant power or the constant aggression from what doing here. And even though they do get 2 picks here and push what doing back, they're still alive here. And Z with the decapitator gets those 2 picks and keeps those momentum going. They're still alive here.
What doing? Y'all gotta lock in, and they are locking in. As a matter of fact, if they can clear the second checkpoint, they're in for such a good time. It's not even funny, but I feel like they got a little bit too fixated on it and abandoned it a little bit preemptively. If you ask me, and it definitely led to consequence. They weren't able to clear that second checkpoint, only getting around a quarter of the way done before NRG was able to take it back.
Now, with 1 minute remaining, NRG has just only less than a minute now to try and close the gap, to try and contest the lead at the second checkpoint here. And it's not exactly impossible for them. One good pick, one good double splat on their favor can absolutely swing things in their favor here as the S-Blast under the ramp gets a pick, goes down for a 1-for-1 trade. Now, NRG looking to try and threaten this lead here on the second checkpoint, popping the bubbler as well to try and secure it as well. They're going to be able to take away this lead here as what doing struggling and scrambling to take away the tower from them, and now 3 down from NRG. It's gonna be a scramble and a mad dash to that lead there with only 20 seconds remaining.
The only person that should be diving like that was Z, and Z saw it through, but the other two that did, we gotta lock in, because you dive at a tower and just become desperate like that, especially in those crucial moments, it could very well end your game, and it was very close to doing so. But we will be going into overtime. Excuse the scolding, I don't mean to do that, but this is gonna get tight.
Goss! Okay.
Goss down!
Goss is down, but the push is still alive yet. They all jump out of the tower! What are you doing? No, wait, what? No. Can they get it within a wipe at the very end? Why did they jump off the tower?
What did we just say? To not get desperate. What did we just say?
NRG at the end, when their backs were against the wall, manages to narrowly avoid a 2-2 scenario and closes the game, taking advantage of a mistake from